Hey everyone, and welcome back to a second channel video. This one is a little bit more serious compared to my other second channel content, but it's some stuff that I just kind of wanted to talk about and kind of work through my thoughts on without having to go and write like a full script and doing like a proper main channel video. You'll have to excuse me, my hair's a little bit of a mess, I'm still waiting for it to dry. It's actually my birthday party today and I'm going out in a couple of hours, which is why I'm all dressed up. But I don't know, I just have a lot of thoughts going around in my head and I kind of wanted to get them out before I go out and have fun. Because this is something that's been bothering me all week. So at the beginning of the week, I saw a couple of news articles and blog posts on feminist blogs about a game that was being sold on Steam this week called No Mercy, which was simply a simulator game. It was a simulator. It was in the games, which are games designed to be pornographic that people play to get sexual pleasure out of. And the story behind this game is you are a man who has caught his mother cheating on your father, so you proceed to bully and abuse your own mother and end up raping her. And then there's also, I think it was either your sister or your auntie and another woman who you can abuse in various ways throughout the game. So in some cases you just straight up assault them or them, and in others you coerce them and manipulate them into performing sexual acts on you, which again, if it's coerced, it's still rape. Some of them is more violent than others. Like in some scenarios it is like a forceful violent rape. In others it's like a coercive manipulative rape. But either way, it's you're raping various women in your family, and the message behind the game is like, all women are cheating scum, teach them a lesson with your penis. And a lot of the promotional materials were literally giving that message of like, you know, women are trash, teach them a lesson through. And obviously there was a lot of pushback against this. I was very angry about it, and it got me into doing a little bit more research, and apparently games are way more common than we realised. There was another one a few years back that did end up getting banned on Steam. No Mercy has thankfully been banned on Steam as well, but it turns out there's still games being sold on there, and if they're not on Steam, they're on other websites. And I get the argument that we can't completely eradicate them because they'll always pop up again somewhere, but that doesn't mean we should condone them and be okay with them and normalise them and be like, yeah, let's have like one of the biggest game platforms out there selling games and profiting off, because, well, they're gonna be somewhere, why not make money off it? Like, that just feels wrong, you know? This is gonna sound horrible, we could make the same argument about child assault material. Well, people are always gonna be making it, so why not put it on a mainstream platform and monetize it? It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. This is exactly what me and Elise have been talking about a lot recently, because when you have, you know, books like Daddy's Little Toy that literally, sorry, like lip gloss, lipstick, whatever, that literally romanticize and glamorize child sexual assault and turn child sexual assault into pornographic material that people are supposed to be getting off to, I think that's a problem. And Elise made the point of like, oh, but if this was a game, people would probably like be more angry about it, there would be more uproar, but apparently because it's a book, people can like letting people get away with it. Oh, my thoughts are all over the place, sorry. But I was kind of shocked to see that there were still people like defending this game and other games like it and other simulators and being like, oh, well, it's just fantasy, blah, blah, blah. People can always tell the difference between fantasy and reality, and sorry, but no, they can't. And like, it's okay if it's just a game, it's just fiction, it's not like this is happening to real women, and there was a lot of people being like, oh, just because like it's simulated, that basically makes it be like consensual non-consent. And I'm like, I don't agree with that, because it's not consensual non-consent. These characters aren't consenting, they're just being raped, and the player of the game is getting off on that. They're getting off on people, on like simulating people. And that's what I think the problem is. Some people have been really mad at me like the past few months because I get called a Puritan and say that I'm pro-censorship. I've been called a right-wing fascist. Had people saying that like I must be a Christian with secret right-wing views because I'm against. And I'm just like, this is insane, because I'm not against any consensual sexual act. Do what you want consensually, as long as, and I've always said this, as long as you're both consenting, you're both discussing boundaries, and you have safe words in place, and you both respect each other's limits and boundaries, and it's about trust. Do whatever the hell you want with whoever the hell you want. I don't mind. But the minute it's lacking consent is when I have a problem, and I don't think being against makes me a Puritan or a fascist. And if you think it does, I think that's a problem with you. I saw one comment on Reddit of a woman calling me a Puritan and saying that I was acting holier than thou. And that's a thing people say about me a lot when I call out an action that they do. They say I'm being holier than thou, and I'm like, I don't think that's true. I'm not perfect. I'm not morally perfect. I mess up all the time, and I do stupid things, and I do bad things, and I'm never going to pretend that I'm perfect or better than anyone else. But what I am going to do is say that I am personally completely against fictional material, and obviously real material, but any material that glorifies or glamorizes or romanticizes or sexualizes or encourages rape. And that's not me being better than anyone else. That's me wanting to protect people. That's me being against rape. That's all it is. And if you feel like I'm calling you out by that, then maybe instead of judging me for being against rape, you need to reevaluate your own pro views. You know what I mean? I've seen people been like, oh, well, simulation games are fine because we have killing simulation games. And I'm like, but there's a difference. You're missing a hell of a lot of nuance in the discussion. It's not that all games are okay or none of them are okay, like a lot of people seem to think. You're missing a thorough understanding of why a lot of games are made, like the intention behind them, the aims of them, what makes certain games fun. So yes, you absolutely do have games with killing in, right? People call me a hypocrite for being against child assault, pornography, and erotic materials while playing Fortnite myself. They were like, well, you play a game with killing in it, so blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, let's take Fortnite as an example, because again, a lot of nuance here. In Fortnite, even within world, you're not technically killing, you're just getting a character to respawn within the time loop again, right? So technically, not death, you're just restarting their timeline. 2, there's no graphic violence or blood in Fortnite, so no one's enjoying graphic violence. It's just a simple kind of like pew pew, you're gone. And 3, the fun in a game like Fortnite doesn't come from enjoying killing a character. It doesn't come from enjoying graphic violence. In Fortnite, you are enjoying the competitiveness against other players. You're enjoying the process of being sneaky or being accurate or being smart with how you build things or move around. You're enjoying exploring the map and so on. I always really like the quests and challenges in Fortnite, and I like to do them, like little story bits in it. I'm not enjoying Fortnite because I enjoy seeing people being killed. I'm not enjoying Fortnite because I enjoy killing people. I play it because I like the competitiveness. I like sneaking around a map. I like exploring. Take something that is perhaps a little more graphic, like the Battlefield games, which again I've absolutely played, and I think taking a look at a game like Battlefield 1, that one's a little bit different because it does absolutely like it's more historically accurate, and it is a little bit more graphic. But a part of the game and the story is that it shows, as much as a game can, the kind of realities of war and how horrific war is. And like, it's quite, like, if you play the story mode, really, really damn emotional at times. You get really like invested in the characters, and you actually feel so bad for having to like kill the other players, the other people, the other characters in the story. You genuinely feel awful about it, and you get genuinely upset, and you get really emotionally invested in it. And I feel like a game like that is about the emotional journey and the tactics and the being accurate in the aiming and whatever. But it's about making you understand that, oh God, like, yeah, this is a game, but this actually happened and this affected real people, and you get really emotional and upset about it. Well, at least I know I did. Like, and it's a lot. I'm trying to think of other examples. okay, let's take a cozier game. Like, you guys know I love to play Stardew Valley. I don't play that because I want to be a farmer. I don't play that because I enjoy farming. I play it because I enjoy building the relationships with the other characters, learning about the other characters. I enjoy the time management. I enjoy laying out my farm nicely, eventually, after some chaos. I enjoy kind of collecting resources and building and crafting and that sort of thing. And that's the enjoyment in the game. It's not that I want to be a farmer, right? I'm trying to think of other examples now. Okay, another example. I really, really love the God of War games, right? And they are perhaps a little more violent as well. There is violence in those games. I'll absolutely give you that. But again, the appeal of those games is often, one, the really fantastic storylines, two, the beautiful worlds and being able to explore them and, you know, find all the gorgeous places and be immersed in this beautiful world. And three, the combat has like strategy to it and you have to get your timings right and everything and know how to use certain weapons and you build your character and, you know, so that's where the fun in that is. I think even games like GTA, which are more violent and you do have like a morally questionable actions in there, I think the appeal of them is often things like, again, getting to know the characters, understanding that they might be dark or immoral and kind of grappling with what that means and whether you like them or not. You also have fun that comes from things like the side missions, like racing, driving cars, exploring the city. You sometimes have to have like certain strategy and things. And even the morally questionable actions, like, for example, killing and robbing a prostitute, has in-game consequences because the police will come after you. For every crime you commit in GTA, you risk the police coming after you and arresting you, killing you, whatever, right? So even though that game allows you to do violent actions, there are consequences for it. You know, it's not just, ooh, look how fun and glamorous this is, you'll be rewarded for doing crime. It's like, hey, if you choose to do crime, and you have to sometimes, there will be consequences. All of these feel very, very different to a game like No Mercy, where the aim of the game is to rape women. The intention of the game is to rape women. The player is rewarded for raping women. The enjoyment that the player gets in the game is from watching women being raped. There's no strategy, no... I mean, there's a story and characters, but the story is, hey, how many women can you rape? The characters are... like, oh, aren't these women terrible? As a man, teach them a lesson with your penis, you know? The enjoyment in that game doesn't come from any kind of strategy or competitiveness, or there's no real gameplay other than choosing and deciding how you will rape and hurt women. The enjoyment comes from you enjoying watching women being raped. You know what I mean? And this isn't like, if you want to play a porn game, that's absolutely fine. It's not for me, but I'm not going to judge anyone else who plays it. But the idea of a porn game is that you get enjoyment from watching the sex scenes. You feel sexual gratification from the sex scenes. You enjoy building relationships with the characters and finding out about them and then having sex with them. That's the point of a porn game. The goal is for it to be sexually stimulating for the player. The enjoyment comes from the sexual stimulation, right? That's why a game is so messed up, because it's saying, hey, here's a way for you to get off on women being raped. Here's a way for you to find enjoyment from raping women, and that's what the difference is. Similarly, I think if there was a game that was just about like enjoying killing and graphic violence, and it was like a murder simulator, you know, where it was like, here's a person tied to a chair, graphically torture them, and it was like, you know, like in the game, it was like maybe a first person view of you cutting people's fingers off, or I don't know how people want to hurt people, you know, I'm sure they, like, I don't know how you'd hurt people, but if it was like a graphic depiction of that, and you could like see and hear the person screaming in pain, and the aim of the game was that you enjoyed watching them suffer and be tortured, I would also have a problem with that, because I just think it's really messed up. And if people have fantasies that are them enjoying seeing people be hurt. I don't think that's something we should be saying, hey, this is great, let's celebrate it, let's give you all these materials to allow you to do this. I think that should be something where we say, hey, maybe you need therapy, maybe you need a little bit of help, you know? People were mad at me because I said of the woman who wrote Daddy's Little Toy, that it was nice to see there were some consequences for her actions and she got arrested in Australia. And people were like, oh my god, you're pro-censorship. You want everyone locked up for just having thoughts or thinking things. I'm like, no, I don't. But I do think when we can identify actions that maybe show a person is dangerous, we should take action against that. So I think if a woman is writing, or a man, or just any person is writing a book like Daddy's Little Toy that sexualizes child sexual assault and tries to take child sexual assault and sell it to people as like, hey, this is sexy romance, get off to this, that maybe indicates that there is something wrong with the person writing that and they should face consequences for that. So the consequence of being arrested isn't just, oh, she'll be locked up forever. The consequence of being arrested could be, hey, we're going to do a full investigation into this. Hey, you're going to have a psychological evaluation. Hey, we're maybe going to try and get you some mental health support. We're maybe going to give you some mandated counselling. We're maybe going to put you on a list that means you can't work with children anymore, which I think is a really important thing, because if you're someone who sexualizes child sexual assault and gets off to it and expects other people to get off to it and pay you for it, then yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to work with children. And I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. And if you think that makes me a puritanical fascist, then again, maybe you need to evaluate your own life and beliefs, because there's something wrong there. But yeah, I think in summary, my point is people need to be a little less like, oh, all fiction's okay or none of it's okay, and start thinking about the intention of why things are written and the intended intention of the audience using it. Because writing about difficult topics isn't always bad. It's not always difficult. Sometimes it can be a good thing, a useful thing. It can be high art. But I think if you're making a game that glamorizes and sexualizes hurting children or people or sexual violence against anyone, including adult women, then that is an issue and that's a problem. And that's, yeah, I know that's where my thought is. Yeah, I know this wasn't a long, well thought out video and I'm just rambling off the top of my head, but they're just some things I wanted to get out and put it out into the world, so I can kind of just get it off my head, and now I can actually go out and have fun with my friends for my birthday. So yeah, I don't know, thank you for listening. I hope this was okay. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you again soon.